again, welcome. Thank you, everybody, for listening and joining in. I've got myself, Sonny Pabuaya, and we have John Kraft hosting this. And we have our special guest, Sharon Bruneau. And we will be talking to her about fitness, health, and she's got some awesome products coming out soon. Let's give ourselves a big hand for our special guest, Sharon Bruneau.
Thank you. Thank you. Always a pleasure. You know that. I love you guys. Always fun to do this.
Likewise.
All of us post a lot of inspirational tidbits almost daily, right?
Yes.
And the amount of thanks that you receive, right? You all notice, and it's just everyone's listening, everyone's watching, and I'm a big advocate on continual learning. Absolutely, Sonny. You're always going to empty your cup and just keep filling it, right?
Absolutely. What's that saying? If you don't use it, you lose it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's more important as we age, right? We're all getting up there. We all do. It's inevitable. I was asked a question via on my Facebook feed from a young lady that, she says she's around my age. I'm 59. So she goes, I'm around your age. Don't you miss all that muscle? For one, don't you miss all your muscle? And is it harder to keep it on as you age? Or like if you lose it, is it hard to get it back? So to answer all those in one, no, I don't miss all the muscle. I was blessed, and there was a day, when you're an athlete, you're in your prime, I was focused, and I was like, absolutely, that was, and then later on, I was paid to, I was under contract, but I mean, that was my focus then. And, I loved everything that was blessed with that came along with the sport.
Yes.
But I mean, I carried that muscle in order to compete, right? That was for my sport. So I like being a woman, and for me, I'm very tall, always lean, not saying that women can't carry muscles and be feminine. I mean, I put on a lot of muscles, and there's a lot of my gorgeous fitness sisters that are competing, and the sports evolved to bigger, better, more fabulous, always sexy. But for me, I just thought it was almost like, okay, I gotta take that suit off now, and it's so much easier not to carry that much muscle because I was constantly eating. You got to, it's like eat, sleep, train, eat, sleep, train. You talk about it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Train. So, I took it as far as I could and wanted to. And again, like our last podcast I mentioned, another opportunities opened up. So I would never stop training, which I did for a bit. Wasn't good. I explained I went through a life challenge and a major loss and being up emotionally and, depression and stuff. But I bounced back in, so never you can get it back. But I'm sure if I wanted to get all the muscle back, I could, right?
Yeah.
But as we age, again, we face sarcopenia, and naturally, our bodies start to, lose muscle and collagen, and we get us, the bone, everything becomes less and denser and everything else. But you can still stay in shape, and it's never too late. And yes, it's harder as we get older because I just explained the muscles will start to, not atrophy. Atrophy is a different thing than sarcopenia. Before, but it's called aging, right?
Yes.
But I feel pretty good for my age and what I've been through, and bouncing back, and it's an adage to your routine. The day you got to make your daily commitment to your workout program, whatever it may be. A dojo or a gym or, a gymnasium or, running or whatever, right? But, I mean, you just got to, keep training. This is why, while we're on the subject, because my friend here, Richard Webb, who's in the corner here, the lower corner below me here, Richard Webb had approached me over a Facebook feed. I noticed his name throughout the feeds before, right? And I was like, okay, we never met him before. And I have so many people on all of my feeds. It's hard to, sometimes I'll remember a name if you're constantly, approaching me. So he said he wrote a book. Oh, I would love for you to write the foreword, Like, well, okay, and I have not just myself, but a lot of us get approached by everyone. Hey, can you promote this and that? Which is awesome, I love that, right?
Yep.
I'm honored that people want to reach out. So I said, well, send me a book. No. But he was so passionate about it. So instead of saying, you know what, I am writing my own, I will be launching my own by the end of this year or next year, right? Because everyone's like, you gotta write your books and training things. So I'm thinking, but you know, this guy's so passionate about it. He's such a sweetheart. So he sent me his book. I read through it, and I'm like, okay, what's your story? Okay. And I'll let Richard tell a story, just real short, Richard, about why he wanted. This is a man, you know, he's around our age. He's a father, single dad, got full-time, you know, worker, and he decided to do a Muscle Beach show. So he got in shape, you know, he dieted down, put some muscle on, everything else, and he loved it so much that he wrote a book about it. You know, nice. He pro. Hadn't done this for years, but he got in shape. And what he learned, and he said, hey, if I can do it, I got to share it. This is what I love, when people share and motivate each other. And so he writes his book. So I'm like, yeah, I'd love to work with you because I love your passion. And I love the fact that it's like, hey, if I can do it, so can you, right?
Absolutely.
Basic, simple read. For anyone who's watching right now, basic, simple read is what I liked about it. It's clean, it's to the point, no pills, no magic wands, you know, and it's like, yes, that's all it is. Keep it simple.
Yep. That's exactly it. There's no such thing as a magic wand.
Kudos, Richard.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit of your story, Richard, about...
Well, so it started off yeah, thanks. I'll be glad to tell you. I'll make it short. So I'm still very good friends with a couple of guys that I knew from junior high school. And we would get together every March and go travel. And this particular time we were 43 years old, and we were in the Tampa Bay airport. And one of my buddies, Ruben, decided that, you know what, we're 43, we need to challenge ourselves before we get out of shape, right?
Yeah.
So the two decided what the other one was going to do. And so they told me, I had lifted all my life. I'd been in decent shape. And they said, you need to, by the next year, by the next time we get together, you need to compete in a bodybuilding contest. And I thought, wow, that's going to be hard to do. But, and you know, the other two, we gave them challenges too. And then the loser had to
buy. Have you been training, Richard, at all? Like, have you known anything about bodybuilding shows or anything?
Well, so I guess the reason I did that is because I did actually compete in a contest back when I was 22. Okay. But I don't really count that. But I didn't do well, and I didn't like the vibe, so I didn't do it anymore. But so anyway, what was interesting, the reason that I wrote the book was that I ended up competing in a natural show in Costa Mesa, California, called the West Coast Naturals, something like that. And I didn't do well. I liked what I liked what I put out on stage. I didn't have a coach or anything. I did it all based on my research and everything. But I placed 12 out of 12 in 40 to 49-year-old men. But you know what? That first contest, I agreed with where they placed me. I didn't have any problem with that. But I really liked being on stage, because when you're on stage, you know, Sharon, you kind of feel invincible. I mean, it's almost that, right? but I thought, well, I was spending 16 hours a week in the gym, and I couldn't do that again if I was going to compete. So because I had a full-time job, I had 2 kids that were under 8 years old. So, you know, and working full-time in technology. So I did a lot of research. I took 3 years off. I did a lot of research and came up with a way that I can get the same or better results with 4 hours a week working out. So that was what I'm selling is time, right? Because I mean, where can you buy time? So that's my elevator pitch, is that you can get 16 and a half hours of results working out with only 4 hours of that.
Story is that he started late. It's 49, right? Yep. Show. And again, and going back to what he's saying about time, you know, people's like, oh my God, you must spend hours in the gym, you know, because I mean, got quite muscular, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long did that take? It was hours. It's like, no, the point of bodybuilding or building muscle is like, you want to
Mm-hmm.
stimulate the growth. You don't want to
Yes.
beat yourself up, because
Yes.
then you're going to set yourself into a state of, like you're going to burn your muscle off. If you
Mm-hmm.
train too hard, too much, and then I find people don't eat enough while they're training.
Yeah.
So yeah, you shouldn't be spending any more than 45 minutes a day in the gym.
Yes.
That's with cardio included, right? I
Okay.
mean, Charles
Wow.
Glass used to beat me up and go tennis when I was prepping for one of the Miss Olympias.
Yes.
And because he had so many clients anyway, he fit everybody in. So I'd show up at
Yes.
4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
He would place me with another girl, Carmen Brady at the time, and she was prepping for the USA's, I think, that year. And so he paced us together, but it didn't matter what body part. I mean, I was like crawling out of the gym. It was just like, wow. But within, half hour, 25 minutes, just like ripped you through. There's no rest. There's no, just, but the point is, it doesn't take a lot of hours in the gym. You just want to stimulate growth, and then you feel that growth, right? But anyway, it's a great book. So
Richard, I'd like to know more about your book. What's in that thing, and how's it going to help me? How's it going to help different people that I know? And what's some of the secret stuff that you have in that book? And tell us about it and why we need to buy that book. We're there for you, buddy.
Well, so we were taught when Sharon was talking about diet, a lot of the stuff in my book just really supports what she's talking about. For example, one of the things that I talk about in my book is that I show my diet in there when I was competing, 7 meals a day. And, every 2 or 3 hours I'm eating something. And like she said, thank you, Sharon. It is definitely not, you're not eating large meals every 2 or 3 hours. You're eating a couple of them may be bigger than the other, but you definitely have these snacks you're doing. And the other thing I would emphasize is that our bodies have a hormonal response to food. And I think it's very important that we have a balance of the macronutrients at every meal. So when you were talking about salads earlier, just eating a salad is giving you some carbs and maybe some fat, but you're not getting a lot of protein there. So you need the right balance of carbs, fats, and proteins at every meal. So
can I find that in your book?
Yes, you will find that in my book. I specifically talk about that.
That's a really interesting subject to me, because before Sharon, on our last time that Sharon graced us with her presence and shared all that knowledge, she was talking about something I had never heard of before, and that was this whole diet thing where you eat these meals because the body is actually starving. So this theme on starvation mode is something I had never heard of before. And you would think for a lot of us, well, if I don't eat, well, naturally I'm going to lose weight, but that's not really what you're saying, how it works at all. Is that true?
No. In fact, in the book, I actually talk about a guy who's now a friend of mine, but he started off as just somebody doing the program. His name is Lawrence. He was 52 years old at the time. And he actually, this is an important thing about the whole weight. The weight should not be your goal. It should be healthy. It should be lower body fat. It should be increased muscle, especially as we get older. We want to go into our older age, with as much muscle as possible, because that means our body's going to burn fat more efficiently.
Okay.
With the muscle.
Richard, you actually brought up a good point I wanted to extend here.
Go ahead.
You're talking about the weight, how people are so concerned about their weight, more so women, right? That's why, and I had mentioned earlier, I don't weigh myself. I did when I was competing, just to keep a log of my progression of my muscle growth. But I never weigh my clients. I might weigh them at the very beginning, and then I'll wait a few months and weigh them, right? Because with women especially, you gotta consider muscle weighs more than fat, and right? So as you get into shape, doesn't have to be bodybuilding shape. When your body is changing, you're getting a nice little tone going on. You get that nice shape going on. Instead of the bony little shoulders and the wider hips, you get a nice round on your shoulders and start that hourglass. You know, it's about, like, bodybuilding is building bodies. So whether you're doing it to compete or just making yourself look prettier and better, right? More fit, you're building your body. So it doesn't matter what size you wear, or how much you weigh, it's about how you look. And everybody's different. You know, I might have a smaller bone structure than you. You know, you can't compare yourself to other people because we're all different. It's about how you look in the mirror and how you fit with clothes and your performance, how healthy you are. So when you start working out and you're like, oh, now I put on all this weight, you know, I'm getting fat, you know, or I don't want to be that heavy. I want to be 110 pounds or whatever, you know.
Right.
It's like, it's not about the weight, it's about how you look. So that's a very important point that Richard brought up that I didn't think to talk about, you know. And again, when you're trying to lose weight and you're weighing yourself every day, well, no, because then when people come to me, whether they want to lose weight or gain weight, whether it be muscle for competition or just like gain weight to look pretty, you know, or striking, you know, more attractive, you got to eat. I'm going to make you eat. And again, nutrition, 90%. Very basic, very simple. You know, your carbs, your proteins, and your essential fats. So I have people that want to lose weight. They're like, why are you making me eat? I feel full. I don't want it, you know, I want it. Yes, because it's going to pick up your metabolism. So when you eat every 2.5 to 3 hours, it's going to keep the metabolism working. You're going to burn the fat, but the food I'm feeding you is nutritious, clean, healthy, lean food. It's not going to make you gain fat. It's going to put more muscle on you.
Wow.
If you notice that I'm not losing weight, I'm putting weight on the same weight, it's because your body's shifting. It's losing the fat and putting on some muscle. And the same with the girls, right? You know, I'm skinny, I'm flabby, I want to get a butt. You know, thanks to the Kardashians, it's all butt now, right? You know, some women have that natural padunk, and others like myself, you have to really work for it. And even then, I never had, you know, much of a, you know, because of my long native stature. But if you want the shape, you got to eat, right? And if you weigh yourself, it's like, oh my God, but my weight is going up. Well, yeah, because we'll put muscle on you to give you that rounded padunk, you know. So they don't, you know, get rid of scale. Just throw it out. I'm serious, because it's a real mind bend, you know, and it just messes you up. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this more. It's not working because I'm putting weight on. You know, I'm not losing the weight. What's she talking about? You know, I'm the same weight. Well, yeah, because now you're muscular instead of fat, or, you know, you look better than you did when you were bony. But absolutely, it's not about the weight. It's about what you eat and how much you eat.
Yeah, right. So that's exactly the point I was going to make too, is because I have a 4-week plan that I have at the end of the book that kind of shows people how they could integrate all this stuff. But for Lawrence, we just put him on we integrated everything for the first 4 weeks into week 0. And he actually gained weight and lost 2 inches around his waist in 4 weeks.
There you go.
So that's the kind of stuff you learn in my book. In addition to nutrition, I also talk about weight training, resistance training. You're not going to be able to build muscle if you don't do resistance training. And then I also talk about cardio training. So all of that is included in this book.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question, John.
You betcha. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, fat burning secrets, efficiency and fitness. Who is that on the cover?
That's Sharon Bruneau.
Who's the other person?
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have known each other for a while.
No, really, we just met this year.
Yeah, we just met
earlier. I didn't know Richard. We're on Facebook together, and he reached out to me, you know, and he shared his book with me. And like I said earlier, the reason why I wanted to support Richard and do the foreword for him and work with him to help promote this is because of the fact is very basic and simple. It breaks it down. It's a very simple, basic read. It's an easy read. So it's not confusing to beginners. Because a lot of the information you get on the internet or some books is like, it's so full with so much information. It's like, oh, I don't understand. It's just too much to conceal. You know, it's like, what do you mean? You know, it is so simple. I read the whole thing, you know, with it not even an hour. Just read through this. That's so simple. And it's like, oh, now, of course, you know, I've known this for years, but I'm thinking of somebody that's brand new or hasn't gone over their basics in a while, right? It's like, oh, this is very good. It's very well written through a man who went through the program himself and was so passionate about helping others because he found it so easy that it's like, well, no, everybody, you know, like he just wanted to share how easy it is.
Right. There's an
Right?
there's an art to that, sharing
Yes.
how easy something is. You know, you have to go through it so you can explain it. So it's all excellent to me. It's just amazing.
I turned 60 last year and I continue to follow the same program in the book. So
Okay.
That's terrific.
There's nothing new in the book. It's
Mhm.
just basic information that people overlook. It's
Yes.
always the basic. It's always something basic, right? We try to make it bigger than what it is, whatever
Right. Yep.
subject it is, but it just reminds you just how simple it is, right? And
Yeah.
this information's been around forever, but it's just something, it's a good refresher. Like, oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. I always invest in my skin, my, you know, my face and my hair and stuff, so.
Hey, I have
John, I'm sorry, John Kraft, was it your sister that was on last time asking about menopausal issues?
that was my cousin Tracy.
Your cousin.
Yeah, she's down
Have
in
her DM me. I've got a huge amount of information for her.
I will do that. I asked her to come today. I don't know what she's doing, but
Oh, she missed out.
you know, they all get
Grandkids,
quiet.
I
Grandkids,
know.
yeah.
Oh, we're talking about that again there.
That's a good excuse. I'm gonna chew her out for not being here.
Yeah, have her
I'm like-
DM me. I've got some stuff for her.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you. And by the way, you look great.
It's the face cream.
Sharon, I want a dozen of it.
I'm sold too. I want a couple myself.
You're gonna love it. I kid you not.
Well, I have a question for you, and I know that these other guys here, like Professor Bobby Lynn from the Boston area, you're here, and thank you so much. And I know you might have a question or two,
Hi,
so
Bobby
we want to
Lynn.
give you an opportunity. If we go over an hour, that's okay.
That's
Yeah, that's
okay.
fine.
As long as Sharon is good with that, then
I set my day for this. So.
excellent. And if Richard, if you have something else to say, then you're just going to have to encroach, I guess, because, you know, why not? And so here's my question. So Sharon, women, diet, menopause, aging, all of that. I have a question. I'm going to try to be, well, here it is.
Just spit it out, John.
Just spit it out. Okay. So, you know, I see women, they go to the restaurant. We're like, whoa, we're in this fancy restaurant, right? Salad. What is that? I mean, we've got steak, we have
Steak and
lobster.
lobster.
And then there's a salad eaters, right? I'll have a
Yeah,
salad.
and I'm kind of thinking that women are health and weight conscious, and so they don't want to put on the pounds, and maybe they don't have an exercise program that they've got themselves into. So I'm assuming now, as being a guy, that maybe the salad thing is a lot of women's take on, well, I can keep myself in shape just by eating salad. And is that a myth? Is that reality? How do you see that?
And I know what I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just want a good fresh salad, you know?
Okay.
But yeah, you know, just by restricting your calories like that, thinking that it's going to burn the weight off. I mean, it's all a balance.
Right.
So you got to absolutely, you got to 90%, as I said earlier, is your nutrition program.
Right.
But you still have to work out. So just because you're eating salads all day long, or just have like a protein shake in the morning and a salad at night. No, then what happens if you don't get enough calories, even just for a regular day routine, your body, your metabolism will slow right down because you're not fueling even your daily activities. Like you still need a certain amount of carbs for your brain to function, right? So when people restrict their calories too much, What the body does is like, well, hey, wait a minute. I'm not getting the nutrients I need for organ function, for this, that. Because your body's always working, whether you're in the gym or not, especially when you're sleeping. That's when your body is constantly repairing itself. You got to feed it. You got to feed yourself. So it's okay to have a salad like once a day, twice a day. That's fine. But you still need your complex carbs. You still need your protein, because our peptides, we're built to peptide bonds. Peptides are protein, right? And you need that to maintain your health, your stature. You can, if you diet too hard, the body shuts down and it's going to hang on to what it's got. So I always hear this, like, God, I don't even eat much, and I diet so hard, and all I do is eat salad, and I just, and I can't get rid of this belly fat or this fat, or, I can't, my weight isn't changing, right? Well, it's because the body is in survival mode. So if you're not getting enough fats in, or anything that's really important, protein, calories, it's going to say, hey, no, wait, I'm going to hang on to what I got. And then you're going to feel sluggish and lightheaded if you get up too quick, whatever. It's the same as overtraining. I'm going to train and eat less. And then I'm going to, I'm going to look, like Corey Everson, right? Or Rachel McClish or whatever, right? And it's like, no, because now you're burning all the muscle off. You're in atrophy because the body is, you can survive on. The body needs more fat than muscle to survive. Okay, fat's important for your organs, everything, right? So you've got to keep a balance. If you're not eating enough, the body's going to shut down. It's going to burn muscle and hang on to the fat, right? So you're going to be watery. It's like flubby. You can train your butt off for hours. It's not going to do good because you're going to burn off all your muscle, especially if you're not eating, which we talked about earlier. You got to eat for your level of activity. You don't want to beat yourself up. You want to just stimulate the growth, right? Again, even in my heyday, the longest I've trained in a gym, the training, not including cardio, was about half an hour. Maybe 40 minutes, depending. If it was leg day, then we'd take a bit longer in between sets, right? Cardio, the most we do when we did do cardio, or was 40 minutes, half hour on an average. Now today, I'm still toned. I'm not as muscular as I was. I don't want that. It's a different chapter in my life. But to keep this, I still have to eat a lot, right? Not as much as I did when I looked like that. But you got to help your body. You just stimulate the growth, and you got to keep it balanced. So you can have your salad, but don't think you got to only eat salad to stay skinny. And some women are like, well, I don't want to look like that. And I, just the other day, oh, your arms are so muscular. I don't know. It's like, this is the way I like it. But I know my body. If I didn't work out at all and I ate salad, I'd be a toothpick, a flabby toothpick, right? So you got to keep it in balance.
Should someone who's serious about, I guess, getting into competition, they should hire somebody to give them a plan to follow, or is it something that they can learn and do themselves?
I mean, you could. It helps to have somebody that's been through it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And like we were talking about last time. Now this is important again. So I'm glad. Let's hit on this each time, because thanks to the internet, we're just lavished with information.
Absolutely.
So if you're new into the game, and like you just asked me to help you because I've been through it, right? Years of professional bodybuilding on stage, the Olympias, the Arnolds. Okay, so I've done it.
Yes.
But then you have the people that did a show, whether it be fitness bodybuilding, and now they're going to teach everyone else how to do it, right?
Yes.
Which is good because they've been through it. But they're still learning too. You got to be careful what information is out there. So if you know of somebody, you look at their credentials and everything else. I mean, there's just an array of personal trainers on IG and Facebook, right? So it's like people I've never heard of, but I look at it like, good for them. They know their stuff. The biggest thing, though, it's good to have somebody and talk to them, because that have been through it, because personally, and I find this a lot with my fellow competitors, right? And in the day and or even now, or when I was beginning, the biggest thing is, the hardest, I should say, and the most intricate, if you want to put muscle on or condition yourself properly for a sport, is nutrition. Is how and what you eat and how often, right? How you balance out your macros, everything else, right? That's the most important. 90% of your achievements will be through nutrition. You can sit in the gym for 14 hours a day if you want, which I'm not saying you should, right? Like you just need like the most an hour a day, if that, right? But it's nutrition. So yes, for bodybuilding, right? And or the fitness shows like your wife wants to do. It's the same training, fitness, physique, bikini. What else is there? Anyway, it's all bodybuilding, because you got to go in the gym and build the body to a certain level for what's needed for whatever class you're entering. So in order to grow through that, like you stimulate it in the gym and then you grow through nourishing yourself, amounts of protein and what have you. When I tell people, you know, that are starting this pre-contest, so on, you know, you're training up to about 10 to 2 weeks out of the show date. That entire time, get into the gym daily, at least 3 on, 1 off, 2 on, 2 off, whatever split you want, and get used to eating. You gotta eat, right? So the more you do, the more you eat. The less you do, the less you eat. It's just that simple. You gotta make sure you're giving the body enough protein. Then pre-contest, there's a certain, you know, some people like to carb deplete, some sodium deplete, whatever. But then you get really intricate where it's like, you got like no sodium, no sugar, you're getting a little fat, right? And then after show, then you slowly go into a normal eating program, like normally eating, right? But because your body's been so depleted for so long, right? But yeah, like usually about 3 months, depending on your weight, level of physique that you have, whether if you're pro, amateur, whatever, and the level of body fat that it's okay to put body fat on the off season because you still need fat, right?
Yes.
It's essential for your organs and everything. But you know, you start to pre-contest dieting, so about 3 months out, then you start to watch your, you know, no sugar. You know, watch your fats, you know, watch your sodium, and you just start to tone it in real strict, and you slowly pick it up so you can eat normal again. All about nutrition. Yeah.
What is it that you're up to over there, Sharon? All the new stuff you're doing. I know you've been in the past, you've been a bodybuilder, a champion, you've been a movie star, a TV star. What are you up to now?
Well, again, I've been working on, you know, since COVID, pandemic, you know, everything, things I was working on prior were shelved. And so now that all the barriers are down and we're somewhat back to normal, I had to pretty much start over on a couple of projects. The other ones are permanently shelved, and then we lost some people that were involved with the projects, and it's been horrible, you know, so just pretty much playing catch up. So my main focus right now has been the website and of course the skincare, and now Richard's book. Richard did all the work on that, so give him the kudos for that. But mainly just the website, because, you know, it's good that I've been kind of silent because it forced me to really knuckle down and get these workout videos I've been taping and prepping some of the nutrition programs so that I'll be posting them on YouTube and my website by end of month, by next month, for all to see and to purchase so that you have in your libraries, because I'm constantly asked for videos and books. And so, and I had finally sat down and started writing some books that will be available by next year. So my training manuals, how I prepared for my pro win, you know, so material that I've been sitting on for a long time because I've been too busy bouncing around doing other things. So I've been kind of quiet because I'm just trying to piece everything together, get that done so I can post everything up, and then start on the next project. So.
Okay, so like a month, you're going to have some of this stuff available.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm constantly asked, especially when I was prepping for competition, like what was my leg routine? What'd you do for shoulders? A good ab routine. How do I train at home without weights? How do I do this? How do I, so, and that to me, it's like, well, I know all that. I just have to take the time to get into the studio and get my crew to film me, doing various workout schedules and routines and so forth, and
So
breaking it down, and video coverage of proper form
okay.
for workouts and exercises, because that's a big one. It's always been a big one for me, and it was even instilled further into me by Charles Glass, right? Form is everything on how, and even in martial arts, you know what I'm talking about. You got to
Yes,
have proper
absolutely.
form to execute properly, right? And it
Yeah,
goes
or we
as well.
learn it completely wrong, and our body is going to do it wrong moving forward.
Because it's going to end up moving that way, right? And
Yes.
certain muscles will be built the wrong way. So
Exactly. And that's where injuries come into play.
there you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you're going to have something there for the bodybuilders. And
not just bodybuilders, it's like workout enthusiasts, I'll have it for everyone, but the basic moves are for everyone, that wants to go into do resistance training, like weight training. So just a proper form, various types of workouts, so you can mix up your shoulder routines or your back or whatever, right? Stretching programs, with barbells only, with dumbbells only, with bands, with no weights. I'm going to mix it up. So there's no excuse.
So this is for,
don't have any weights, you can't afford a gym membership, I can show you how to work out,
Great. Yeah, and you're pretty good at it too, I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the people at home they'll benefit from this, because they'll be able to go, well, this isn't just for the professional bodybuilder, this is for me.
Yeah.
And
like I said, you don't even have to go to a gym,
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
A well-rounded program then for just the homebody.
That's right.
Or the pro.
Something for everyone. A little bit of something for everyone.
There you go. Thank you, Sharon.
It's like such a great, yeah.
Absolutely. So we this is our second interview with you, and it's such an honor because we had a great response from people who listened and watched it, and just messaged me directly as well, asking certain questions. And so is it okay if I ask you some of the questions that were asked?
What kind of questions?
What kind of questions? Oh,
The best kind of question.
I'm here, I'm helping, let's go. Absolutely.
All right. Well, one of the first questions that someone wrote to me was, you must have a daily routine or a daily habit.
Well, and your habits are what makes you, right?
Absolutely.
What you put out there. I mean, even today I posted I just like to post out to remind people, again, I got my workout in, 59, never too late.
Yeah.
Never too young, never too late, whatever, just fit it in.
Yes.
And I think like yourselves, through your martial arts training, any athlete, right? That takes a lot of discipline, and then later on, as we do it for years, it's like breathing. It's just like a second form. It's like the natural habit. It's just something that it's just normal.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a lot to learn, because I know my first show, again, I was trained by a lady who owned a Gold's Gym in Canada, in actually Calgary that year, Calgary, Alberta. And I was always, like I said, tall and thin, right? And I worked hard. I was working hard. It's like, God, how come I'm not, I'm just meant to be skinny, right? And she goes, well, you should do a show, your frame, you got the frame for it, and I see you working hard, and I had a tone. I look like a jazzercise girl, right?
Yeah.
And so the same thing you just said, what do you eat? Let's get you started. You already have that train, you're doing the proper, what's your diet like? What do you mean? Well, okay, write down what you eat. So I think I was eating twice a day, and if I was lucky, I might go out and have chicken parmesan or, you know, like a protein. But normally it's like in the morning, oatmeal, just oatmeal. And at night, maybe pasta, right? Well, where's your protein? What do you mean? What's that? No why you're so skinny, you know? Yeah, I mean, she changed my life. That's where it started. And she gave me this nutrition program. Let's just get you eating properly first. Forget the weights.
Yes.
I mean, don't step into the gym because you're just burning muscle. You're not getting enough calories or you're not getting any protein, you know? And oh my God, I mean, you know, every 3 hours she had me eating. And it was hard to do because I'm just like, oh, I can't eat anymore, right? And, you know, normally now I look back at that and like, shit, I could eat all that and for breakfast, you know, but it was that hard because I had to train my body, right? And then before you know it, once the metabolism really started burning and then I was growing more muscle and putting more food, I was always starving. You know? So nutrition is 90% of it. Absolutely. Learn that before you step into a gym.
So
I'm extremely methodical, always have been. And yes, I do have a routine, unless I'm in travel, which isn't that much these days. You know, back in, you know, at the height of my career, I was always on an airplane. So you kind of make your schedule around your day, right? But right now, on an average, my schedule is first thing I get up, I, you know, have my coffee, check all my emails, make my phone calls, and then I take my power walk. I come back, I work out. Of course, I have my breakfast first and do my workouts and stuff. And then I do more emails. And because I'm involved, I'm trying to launch a couple of businesses and working on the website, which, you know, if I can fit myself into a green screen, depends on my crew who's, you know, because everyone's like pitching in. It's not like I'm paying for a studio to do this for me. So, you know, gotta work around each other. But on an average, I'll wake up, have my coffee, check my emails, get the business out of the way, have my breakfast, which is usually oatmeal and egg whites still. I mean, I still eat the same as when I was, you know, back in the day prepping for competition, not for pre-contest. But I eat clean and healthy, and then I go for the power walk, come back, fit in a quick workout, do more business, hop in the shower, then I'm off to meetings. And I come back, more business on the computer. So once everything starts to roll, right, then that will change. But that's pretty much my day. Yeah.
Okay.
But I always, it doesn't matter, say if I have a meeting or I have to fly out of town, whatever, I always get my workout in, always. So if I don't get it first thing, and say I fly into California next week or I'm in Hawaii next month or whatever, right? I'll fit it in when I can. I always make a point to get the workout in, period. Even as a quickie, like, you know, I think it was last Wednesday. I got a quickie in today. It was hump day, so everyone was like, oh, okay, guys. All right. Yeah, always something.
Would you recommend, what is it? Should we start with the bulk up, or should you just still watch what you eat and grow? What would you recommend?
Because you're putting on muscle, you're trying to put on muscle, right?
Yes.
Well, muscle needs protein, and of course, macronutrients. You need healthy carbs and fibers. And everything else. Just consider the bulk up, and I wouldn't be too. Now, this is too concerned about healthy fats. You know, don't go out and just bulk up on hamburgers and lasagna and that, you know, because you're going to put on a lot of fat, right? You know, you got to weigh up your calories and what you're doing. So absolutely, you've got to eat, but it's still got to be somewhat clean. It doesn't have to be strict like bodybuilding, right? But I mean, get in, and then you'll have more energy, and you'll notice that you're filling out more, and you know, then you're feeding the muscle growth. So, you know, it's all about, on the off season, it's called bulking, you know, bulk up, you know, but it's feeding the muscle. So you're, you know, especially for me, because I'm long and lean. So it took a lot of eating and calories for my first show. And if you look at my very first competition photos, and I won that show, but there's only 4 of us in, you know, the amateurs, right? And but I stuck to what Roberta told me, and I had my little abs and little muscles hanging out and stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, you know. But it was a huge change from where I began the year before. It takes time. You got to be patient. It doesn't happen yesterday.
Yes.
But it is very simple. It's about, you got to eat, train, and I know I hate saying this, but it's the truth. You got to sleep as much as you can. People are like, what's that? I don't sleep.
Yeah.
I don't have time. I don't have time to do all that. Neither did I. I used to bartend and waitress at night at a strip club in Vancouver when I was hitting my pro levels. And
wow.
a 14-hour day, you're on your feet, still got my training, my diet, everything, It's like, it depends on how bad you want it, right? But
of course.
you gotta feed yourself.
Well, with the dieting or what you put in, sometimes it's tough to get all that protein. So I guess you would recommend to take supplements, or
I took digestive enzymes because, especially if you're not used to it, a lot of protein, it can, bind you up, and be careful because you got to weigh it out as per your body weight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, put it this way, the current Miss Olympia, who's fabulous, right? She's
Absolutely.
muscular and just gorgeous. Well, she's going to eat tons more protein than I am at these days, right?
Yes.
I don't weigh myself. It messes with my head. I just look at myself in the mirror. But the day I did all that, it was important when I was competing to weigh myself maybe twice a month just to see where I'm put muscle on. That's great, But I don't need that much protein, because if you have too much protein, like anything else, too much of a good thing can harm you. If you're ingesting way too much protein, you start losing hair. Because the body is just like, doesn't know, it's just like eating a lot of fat, right? Most fat. So you got to measure out, but the protein is important if you want to grow muscle. Right? But and again, like the calorie intake, as I keep saying, the more you do, the heavier you lift, whatever, right? The more muscle you carry. That's why you see these big guys, like the men. I used to travel across the world, with the leader athletes and the guys. They could sit there like Sonny Schmidt. I remember, R.I.P. Sonny, he's passed away, but he was popular in the 90s and fabulous physique. Not just Sonny, but the reason why he's standing out right now, we're all sitting around, he's having breakfast, and he had like 4 plates of eggs and pancakes and chicken, and 4 plates, holy wow.
He's good at it.
But he had a lot of muscle, like all the guys could, right? She moved right now, but it's like, but that's amazing. And then the average person's like, you're lucky if you get 1 plate of breakfast food down. So but because he was carrying a lot of muscle. So hey, Sonny, we gotta get you eating.
I actually do eat quite a bit, but my metabolism is pretty high. So
super.
I'm assuming that if you want to gain the size, you lessen your cardio, or you lessen, I guess.
Yeah, it depends on your sport, right?
Activity. Yeah.
I didn't do in the day. Now I do it every day because I love it. Just power walks. Because after bodybuilding, I got into running, right? And then my knees were starting to give out. But in my day, I didn't do cardio until pre-contest. That was one of the things to switch up to, like, to help the body and just really attack that excess that you're trying to burn off, so you get lean, shredded and everything else. You don't need cardio. When you're trying,
I think that was my problem, because I couldn't gain the size.
Metabolism.
I couldn't gain the weight. I mean, I was lifting heavy. Like I was lifting I was benching about 300 pounds at about 135, 140 pounds.
Wow. So the strength is there, but
strength was there, but for size, I didn't have the size. I guess I was so busy working, keeping my cardio up, right? And because of the sport that I was in, I needed the strength and power over the size.
Yeah. And it's a different sport, martial arts, right? It's a different
absolutely
sport. You got to train for your sport.
Exactly.
Right? It's just like, marathon runners, they can eat as much pasta as they want. They need that extra glycogen, the extra energy to keep going, right? So there's going to be differences, But the main consistency is just know your sport, right? And know your nutrition. Same, you know, it's like if you have like contact sport like football or even wrestling, that I think will the level of fat and even your core, it's a different core workout because it takes a lot of beating, you know, in those sports, right?
Yeah.
But and again, it's just like sport specific training, you know.
Absolutely.
But the nutrition is always important no matter what your sport.
Yes.
Sharon, you said in the morning you do a power walk. Can you explain what a power walk is?
My power walks are, it's like kind of in between a fast walk and a run. So I'm just, I just put my earplugs in and, you know, listen to my music. And I'm just like, basically, you know.
Okay, you don't use, do you use any weights like ankle weights or no?
No.
Just,
I mean, you
just
could,
a brisk walk.
Yeah, just a brisk. It's just, you know, it's just, I got a mission. I got my little trail I go on, listen to my music, just thoughts in my head, and I just, you know, I'm just get in my zone, and I just, yeah, it's just a really fast-paced walk.
Okay.
I'd rather run, but because, you know, knee issues, so I do what's safe for my joints.
Yes. I understand. I have the knee issue also.
You too? Oh,
yeah.
Horrible. You know, some people run by and like, I wish I could run. Yeah, I got arthritis in the knee, so darn it.
Yep.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, right?
It does. It really
does.
does.
Hello there, Mr. Bobby Lynn. Professor, you got your sound on? Your volume up?
No, he doesn't have his mic on. He needs his mic on. There you go.
I do. Mahalo.
Well, thanks for coming.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you so much. It's an honor. Again, talking about magazine covers, Ms. Bruneau. I've seen many of your magazine covers. I'm very honored to be here. No, seriously, I was a big Muscle Fitness fan back in my youth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad you joined us.
All I knew was you and Rachel McLeish and Lee Haney, and that's all I needed to know.
Going way back. Well, thank you. I'm honored to be in that group. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Can you tell that Professor Lynn is from Boston?
You're from Boston? Really?
My accent would never give it away.
You've got an accent, sir?
A slight sedia.
Love it.
Thank you.
Sharon, I'd like to know more about other things that I know that you're planning on doing, that you are going to be launching.
I believe you've got a lot of things to share with everybody. And so I would highly recommend any of your products.
Well, thank you for that. The check is in the mail. Anyway. Yes, so earlier we were talking about, you can get it on Amazon. My friend Richard, you can see on the screen here, Fat Burning Secrets, a very simple, quick, basic read. Information, even, you know, people have been around the industry for a while. It's just some stuff you just kind of overlooked and just forgot about, you know. Simple habits, and this is great for beginners. And I highly recommend this for people that are personal trainers and you have beginning clients. It's a quick read, just hand off to them so they can just keep, and it's also available on Kindle. I'm really excited. Of course, the website, we're working on that, so I keep announcing that, but some pushbacks. So by the end of the month or next month, it'll be up and running, but I will be offering fitness workouts and nutrition work, you know, guides, a lot of information on that. I'll also be interviewing some people and sharing some great behind the scenes stories that I'd love to share. So over a year ago, a gentleman reached out to me. He's a formulator, and he and a good friend of ours is a chemist, and they came up with a age defense moisturizer. And again, I'm going to be 59. Well, I'm 59. I'm going to be 60 next year. And they're, you know, they asked, what are you using for your skin, everything else? Would you try out our product? You know, absolutely, we'll try it for free. because I'm living in Canada right now, so the stuff that I used to do in the US isn't available here for my skin. So I'm just, whatever, I'm just using stuff, Neutrogena, stuff like that. And anyway, I started using this product, and my friends notice a huge difference every time I see them. Like, what are you doing for your skin? I had my makeup done last year at the Olympia, and a friend I hadn't seen in a while. It's like, your skin, the condition of your skin. Now, when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, well, it's like, that's like the same person to me, But I don't get Botox and whatever. And I'd love to, but even if you are, whatever you're doing for wrinkle defense, put it that way, you still have to consider the condition of your skin, right? And especially as we get older. And I'm native, right? So I've got like a combination oily stripe. Anyway, blah blah. I know the guys are kind of like, all right.
Oh no, I understand all too well because my wife
I loved
does
it so much. I put my name on it.
Oh wow.
They
What is
agreed
it
to do a
called?
private label for me because I was going to help them promote it and just give them the product, right?
Oh,
But
wow.
it's made a huge difference in my skin. Huge.
Mhm.
I was like, I want to do this product, and I've never put my name on any kind of skin conditioner or anything. I'm really excited about this. So I'm just mentioning it now. We're ready for the pre-launch. For those who want to know more about the product, you can email me at sharonbruneau@hotmail.com. And then I'll be doing the official launch at the beginning of next month. And you'll see the ads. I'll be promoting it through my feeds and, of course, on the internet. And 30-second commercial spots will be coming your way. Wow. I'm really excited about this because I think it's just a wonderful, wonderful product. It's a great peptide.
That's exciting.
And it's a one of a kind. That's why I wanted my name on it so bad. It's a one of a kind peptide. You can't get this in any other product. So I'll be posting more about it. But for those who want to do a pre-order, it's sharonbruneau@hotmail.com, and I'll tell you more about it.
Okay.
So other than that,
do you need any sales rep for it?
Hit me up. Seriously.
I'd be willing to.
Yeah, I was looking, I reached out to a couple of acquaintances and people that we know in the industry, the fitness bodybuilding industry. I'm thinking, Robert Kennedy always told me, Sharon, whenever you strike up a business and you don't have the funding and you're looking for a backer, reach out. You never know. Just
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So I kind of reached out to a few people, and it's like, no reply. So sorry, I just thought I'd try. But I was looking for a backer to do a bigger launch, but I'm just gonna do a light launch, and we'll get it out there. But and again, I'm telling you, I love it. It's like it's worked wonders for my skin. And I just want to share it. So, and again, it's one of a kind. So anyway, I'll share more information with you. Hit me up, and you'll see the ads coming out.
Oh, and is it only for women, or
men can use it too?
Men use it too?
I had 3 of my girls use it. No, men can use it too. Yeah, it's a enzyme. Yep. And I just use it on my neck, my face, and my eyes. Right. Okay. All in one. And it's just real light. It says moisturizer. And at first, it's like, and it detoxifies your skin too. Because I noticed I started breaking out. I'm supposed to acne and eczema, psoriasis, because I'm seriously. And I'm thinking, well, what the hell? I'm breaking out. I don't like this stuff. I challenged my friend, it's like, hey, Eric, what's the deal? He goes, no, it's detoxing. So once it just, because it corrects your skin. And then it's like, look at me. And for those who know me, I don't wear makeup unless I'm doing a photo shoot or I go out to a black tie. I did my eyes for this and lighting, like plastered on here, but look at me, I'm excited. I love my skin. What can I say? But yes, men can use it too. Absolutely.
Oh, that's great to hear, because I love skin products myself. Yeah, I do. I like the mud mask and stuff. You should. My wife's into it, so I get to be the guinea pig every now and then. But to tell you the truth, I love it just as much as she does. So it's a treat when she puts a mud mask on me.
Those who mud mask together stay together. It's like
exactly.
And now I know if you're a fitness trainer, you're always in the gym, you're working with clients, or but for your own stature, like again, I always mix up my training days, even in the day. I go 3 on, 1 off, 4 on, 2 off, 2 on, 3 off. You just got to mix it up and save your calories, rotate your calories. Don't stay on the same plateau, because the body goes, okay, I'm used to this. I know what's going on, right? Always rotate your activity and your calories. Always keep the body working, right? But
Thank you, Sharon.
Absolutely.
This is our second interview with you, and it's such an honor because we had a great response from people who listened and watched it. One other question I was asked about Sharon was, what's your thoughts or opinion about fasting? Because some people swear by it, and because you know how they fast for so many days, and then it's supposed to clean you out and rejuvenate or reset your body.
Boost, and I've got friends that love their fast at least once a year, and I've had a friend who's passed away now, but he had this fasting program he would stick to at least twice a year, and he swore, like, even if you had the worst, flu, knock it right out, kill all the germs and that. I wasn't one for fasting. I just, because I've always, since a kid, I've always been active. Since a little girl, I've always a jock. I was always physically active, and because I'm just my stature again. I'm very fortunate because I was never overweight. Sometimes I'd be a little underweight, but I was always athletic, so I never had an issue with my weight, and thank God I never had issues with anorexia or bulimia. Some young ladies do at a certain, teenage girls, and I've worked with a few, and that's more of a mental issue. But the fasting, I never found a want to or a need to. Do I support it? I mean, it doesn't hurt you. I find that some people might stand up too long. I'm old school, and I'm a firm believer in nutrition. And I always advise people, I wouldn't go the fasting route. That's okay if you want to try it. Again, some people swear by it. I just believe in feeding the body the proper fuels.
I have a follow-up question on that.
Yes.
What about intermittent fasting? What's your take on that, Sharon?
That's okay. Intermittent fasting means that you eat up to a certain time of day, so you might any time past 6 until you get up. A lot of people might do that just to burn off some extra calories. I don't mind that. That's fine as long as you are eating right. So again, it's like everyone's got a different schedule as well. But I find sometimes I have some people that have a stubborn metabolism that I'll have them intermittent fast, usually just before they go to bed. And then they're starving when they wake up, and then we'll start pounding it and we'll pick up the calories again. So that's also a form of rotating your calories. So it's like you go by your days. Like, when I had my heavy training days, my calories were high. If I had low training days, meaning I wasn't doing, heavy squat day or, something like that, then I keep my calories low. It's always playing, always, again, stimulating your body, right? So intermittent's okay. And again, like, fasting, that's an individual choice, to each their own. Just don't stay on it any more than, I would say, 6 weeks or so. I just don't see the sense in it, because you burn a lot of muscle. You set yourself into atrophy, and I just never played with that. But yeah, not a big fan.
So I guess you would recommend to make sure that they see.
I would never tell someone to go fast. Just put it that way. It's okay.
No, but I'm just saying, you're saying that it's okay. If they really want to get into it, they should look into getting professional help, right?
Yeah, make sure you do it properly, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I know a lot of people, they just read on it, but they don't actually get the professional help that would actually help them on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject, I guess. When it comes down to it, you
It's
got to
very-
listen to your body, right? You got
Yeah.
to listen to you in the long run.
Put it this way, if you're truly caring for yourself and you're eating healthy, I'm not saying strict like a bodybuilder, you got to be lean. You know, if you're eating healthy, and it's okay to cheat here and there. It's okay to hey, we're all human, right? It's like life is short. So if you want that slice of cheesecake or you know your bowl of pasta or your pizza, whatever, it's okay to rotate your calories. It's okay to have a high calorie day, but not all day, you know. But have a big meal or something, you know, spectacular like lasagna with extra cheese or whatever, right? But if you're truly eating healthy and caring for yourself, there's no need to fast. Because people are fast like, oh, I got to clean out my system. Well, why? It's like you got to flush out the carburetor. You know, it shouldn't be a black stuff with dirty smoke. You know, if you want, you know, that's my analogy because my ex was a big car guy, right, in mechanic. My very first husband, and it was always interesting because I was like, you know, it's interesting the way he talks about his cars is how I think about the body. You know, you got to fuel, you know, proper fuel and proper oil and proper, you know, and keep the pipes clean. Well, that's why eating healthy, right?
Yes.
Now, you know, I don't know, it's like maybe somebody that is trying to cleanse their system that might have had an addiction issue, you know, maybe flush their system out that way, you know, I'm sure, you know, but I've just never been a big advocate on fasting. I'm not saying it's wrong, you know, like I said, Sonny, if it's done properly and under the right supervision, you know, knock yourself out.
Professor Bobby Lynn, did you have a question for Sharon?
Yes, I do.
Or something you would just like to know about her, I guess?
Well, I always debate. I'm a guy who's going to be 62, who had weight issues. I was law enforcement for 35 years, working the overnight shift. And, you know, life gets in the way, and here I am. What's your thoughts on when it comes to meals? You hear the 3 square meals is all you need. Then you hear, well, maybe 5, and you take, you know, you do like every 2 hours, you do a high protein snack or something to that effect.
Absolutely. Everybody should eat every 3 hours at least. And again, I'm not talking about big meals, right?
Right.
And that's old school. You know, I'm 59. I you're 3 square meals. You know, put a steak of potatoes on, or you know, whatever. Yeah, you can have your 3 square meals, but in between have snacks because you want to keep. And again, as we get older, everything slows down, right? Then we start noticing, like, hey, it's getting harder to shed this weight off, or you know, it's important to keep your and it keeps your blood sugars level. It's just really important for your health overall to keep your body fueled. And especially with your line of work, I mean, thank you for your service. I mean, that sounds like an extremely stressful job, and those hours too. And your family, man, you know, your kids have a day life and you have a night life kind of thing. So, and again, you've always got to really design it around your schedule. That means your work schedule and family life and everything else, right? Because it's not always about you. There's other people that you're caring for. Yeah, I'm a huge, and you don't have to be a bodybuilder. I think everyone should eat every 2.5 to 3 hours. Yes, have your you know, and I'm a big advocate on breakfast, absolutely, because your body through sleep repairs itself. It's been working hard. So you should have a good breakfast. And if you're on the run, at least throw down a banana, anything, right? Or a protein shake or whatever. You know, a good breakfast, I, you know, would rather. But yeah, in between meals, have a protein bar, a protein shake, or, you know, you can get like the little like mini lunches, you know, little edibles that you can, you know, a handful of almonds, just put something in there. Always keep something, like my bag always has foods, nibbles in it. You know, if I go somewhere, I've got a purse, I've always got either protein bars in there or almonds or something. In case I, you know, I was working at 20th Century, I was on location a lot. And so, you know, and they only have craft service morning, afternoon, and night, depending on, you know, what production you're working on. I carry my own snacks in between. just to keep myself, because when you do that, you're starving in between, right? So it saves your metabolism from slowing down. It keeps you neutralized as well, keeps the blood sugars level. So every 2.5 to 3 hours, I think everyone should be nibbling on something. And hydrate, constantly hydrating. Yeah.
Thank
You'll
you.
thank yourself as you get older.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's a good
a
schedule to stay
struggle,
on.
no doubt about it. It's a struggle, but well, that's good advice. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So a little bit about Professor Bobby Lynn. You're a
Uh-oh.
martial arts instructor.
Who, me?
Yes. So tell us a little bit about your school there in is it Danvers, Boston area? What do you
It's
do there?
North Reading, Mass. I work in the North Shore of Massachusetts for a friend of mine. We've known each other through the martial arts circles for the last 25 years or so. And when I retired from law enforcement, he says, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to be a Walmart greeter." And he says, "Yeah, no, that's not going to work." He says, "You're going to come over work with me." And which I've done for the last 2.5 years on a regular kind of shift, which is great because now I can
Nice.
my lifestyle and get normal again. And, watch what I'm doing. I don't know if they have an leader from it's Awaken 180. It's a weight loss company, and they go with the five meal principle thing and small snacks and heavy on the protein, light on the carbs, light on as much sugar off as much as possible. And I'm a not very patient man, and it's coming. It's going good. I'm down about 35 and change, and I'll walk by the mirrors in our school, which John and Sonny have been to, and I look and I go, keep walking, keep walking. So it's a work in progress. I from teaching 4-year-olds to 75-year-olds and coordinating 2 events we have every year. Pulse of EC, Sophie Pulse of EC calls it the Martial Arts Extravaganza. It's a 3-day expo. John and Sonny are very well into it. They were both at our last one in March. We try to cover all the bases and just highlight the people that have given so much of their time to the arts to showcase them. And that's what we do. That's what we do. Just like what you do, like you say, with your training now, it's giving back to a certain level, a certain section or whatever. And
Wonderful.
I'm sort of a ringleader. I can do anything and everything, and most times usually do. But I enjoy it. I get to do what I love. I get to teach lessons more often than I've had in the past. So it's great. And if you notice, Sonny and I are cousins.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I guess we've come close to going over a little bit, but at the same time, John, do you have anything else to say before we close up?
Well, I do. Closing
Yeah.
up may not be an option yet. If we can keep Sharon here all
What
day,
you
I don't know.
got, John?
Wait, I'm gonna get my snack.
Exactly. So again, thank you very much, Sharon, for taking time off your day and
You know I love you
giving
guys.
some.
Yeah.
And before we actually go, I wanted to just let everybody know that I wanted to promote it because I'm helping with it. Is that Sifu Aldecascos is going to be hosting a tournaments with seminars and some recognition in Hawaii at the end of October. We'll have the official dates of all the things going on, and it will be posted everywhere from IG to Facebook to direct email and mailing. But also, I'm very, very excited that John himself is also looking to help his great grandmaster, Rob Castro. He's going to be hosting an event in California as well. And The date should, it's to be announced, but it's in the process. And I applaud John for this because it's a big undertaking, but I know he's up for the challenge and he's going to do a terrific job because he's already done a lot of great things for Shaolin Kenpo. And all he wants to do is also just share his art and what he's learned from his grandmasters. So, John, thank you very much. Sharon, thank you. Richard, thank you for joining and sharing your book as well. Professor Bobby Lynn, thank you for joining in as well. All right.
Look forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you again, everybody.
Always fun, you guys.
Mahalo. You guys take care. Have an awesome day. And if you guys haven't had a chance, make sure you subscribe to the channel and listen in for some great information from all the people that we interview. So thank you very much again for listening. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Till next time.